Hello everyone, welcome back to Python programming series. This is part 3 video from module 1 which is there for VTU in semester 1. Let us start. Before starting, if you are new to my channel and a BTech student, then you have to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Let us see the topics covered in this video: iterations in Python, assignment in Python, updating variables in Python, for loop in Python, the while statement in Python, the Collatz 3n plus 1 sequence, choosing between for and while loop, generating the tables using loops in Python, 2D tables in Python. These are all the topics covered in this part 3 video. If you see in the VTU syllabus, I have covered the way of the program, variables, expressions and statements in part 1 and 2 videos. This is part 3 video. I am covering these topics in part 3. The first topic is iteration in Python. What is iteration? Iteration means repeating a set of statements multiple times. Here the set of statements, it is repeating multiple times, means it is called as iteration. Means taking the same statements, repeated statements again and again, which is called as iteration. Computers are good at repeating tasks without error. Here, repeating the tasks without error. Computer is very good at repeating the task. Here it won't show any errors. Without error, it will run. But humans are not good at the repeating tasks without errors. Why iteration is useful? Let us see. Many tasks in programming need repetition. For example, if you take any program, it will need some repetitions in that program. That's why we use iteration. For example, printing the numbers. If you want to print some numbers, this is a repetition task. Adding values, processing items in a list. These are all the repetition task which is done by the computer by using iteration, and without error it will run. Here the Python also makes iteration easy. Python provides a special features to the repeat task easily. Here we have two main types in iteration. Those are for loop and while loop. We use in iteration, which will repeat the set of statements multiple times. Got it? Let us see the for loop. Use for loop when you know exactly how many times you want to repeat. For example, if you know 1 to 5 times I want to repeat exactly, then you can use for loop. For example, print numbers from 1 to 5. It will print the numbers from 1 to 5. Let us see the example how you can code in Python. For I in range 1 to 6. If you take 1 to 6, it will take 5 numbers. 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Print I. It will print 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Here we are taking for loop I, and in range, I in range 1 to 6. We are giving the range here. Then it will print I. It will print 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is example for loop. And in same as while loop is another way to repeat the task. Here for loop is a way to repeat the task, and while loop is another way to repeat the task. Use while loops when the number of repetitions is not known in advance. If you don't know how many times exactly you want to repeat the task, you don't know that, then you can use the while loop. Here the loop runs as long as the condition is true. Here the loop will run as long as the condition is true. When the condition becomes false, it will stop the execution there only. Very simple, right? When we know how many times exactly we want to execute that code, repeat the task, then we have to use the for loop. We don't know how many times we have to execute the task, then we have to use the for loop, while loop. In while loop, here the loop runs as long as the condition is true. If the condition is true, it will keep on running the loop. When the condition is false, it will stop the execution, come out of that loop. Here, let us see the example. I is equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to 5. Here we have taken the while loop condition here while the condition is I is less than or equal to 5. This is the condition we have to follow. The computer will follow this instruction. Print I. It will increment the I. First value is it is 1. I plus is equal to 1. Again I plus is equal to it will enter 2. 1, 2. Again it will be 3, 4, 5. Because here the condition is I is less than or equal to 5. It will print till 5 because it is true. After 5 it won't print 6 because the condition becomes false. I is less than or equal to 5 we have taken. That's why it will enter 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Got it? Very simple, right? And before using while loops, review the basic ideas of iterations. Know the basic ideas of iteration, how exactly the while loop works, and understand how the repetition works and when to stop the loop. In this example, when the condition fails, it will fall the loop. It will come out of that loop. It will stop the loop and come out of that loop. Like this, you have to know the basics, how exactly the loop is going to work. What is the condition? And in for loop, how many times exactly it will repeat the task like this. This is about for and while loop. And the next concept is assignment in Python. What is assignment? In part 2 also I have explained this assignment operator in detail along with this equality check. Here, what is assignment? Assignment means giving a value to the variable. For example, if I take a is equal to 10. Here 10 is the value, a is a variable name. Means I am assigning the value 10 to that particular variable name. Which means I am giving a value to a variable. Very clear? And here you can assign a new value to the same variable multiple times. Here I have assigned a is equal to 10. Again I can assign a is equal to 20 to that same variable. And multiple times you can assign the different values to that same variable. Got it? For that same variable you can assign multiple values. Got it? Then when you assign a new value, the variable stops referring to the old value. For example, a is equal to 10 I have taken. When I assign a is equal to 20, it will stop referring to that a is equal to 10. It will show me a is equal to 20 only. Whatever I have updated recently, it will show me in the output as a is equal to 20, not a is equal to 10, because I have updated recently that a is equal to 20. That's why it will stop referring to the old value, which is a is equal to 10. Simple. I will explain you with an example. Here a time remaining is equal to 15. Here this is a variable name is equal to this is a value. I have assigned this 15 to that variable. Print a time remaining. It will go to a time remaining and check the value present in it. It will print in the output as 15. Got it? In starting I have assigned it 15 to that a time remaining. In a time remaining is equal to 7. For that same variable name I have assigned it 7 here. Let us see the output here. Print a time remaining. It will go to print a time remaining and check the value present in it. It will print the output as 7. It will not go to the first a time remaining and give the value as 15. It won't do that. It will check the recent update. Got it? That's why it will give as the 7. It will print first as 15 and the second output is 7. I think you are very clear with it. Here the value changed after new assignment. Here after new assignment the value is changed. Let us see the next concept, which is assigning one variable to another. Here we have two variables, which is a and b. Assigning one variable to another. Here we are assigning one variable to another. How exactly we can do that? Let us see. You can make two variables equal using assignment. Here I am doing b is equal to a by using equal assignment operator. Got it? Let us see. I have taken initially a is equal to 5. I have initialized the value to 5. Again b is equal to a. Here b is now equal to a, which means b is equal to 5 here. Here I have to assign some value to that a, then I can easily change the variable. Means I can equal it to the variable b, which means b is equal to a and b is equal to 5. But further assignments don't affect to the other variables. Let us see here, a is equal to 3. I have taken a is equal to 3 here. Now a is equal to 3, but b is still 5 because I have taken b is equal to a. At that time a's value is 5 only. That's why b's value is 5. It doesn't affect to the a's values when I update recently. Which means when I assign b to the a, that value is 5. That's why it will take that value. It won't come back and take this value. Got it? I think you got it. Here, after changing a and b are no longer equal. Because a is equal to 3 here, b is equal to 5. These two are not equal now. Got it? Here, Python uses assignment for assigning the values to the variables and equality to check the two numbers are equal or whether it is equal to this number, like that. To check the equality we use equal to. Got it? Here variable can change their values anytime with a new assignment. You can observe in this example, here the variable is changed to new value by using the assignment. Some languages use different symbols like less than or equal to and equal to, some other symbols to avoid the confusion, but Python strict with the assignment operator. In this Python we use assignment operator only. And the next concept is updating the variables in Python. How exactly the assignment works when we update the variable. Let us see. When Python executes an assignment, it works in two steps. Evaluate the right hand side expression and produces a value. Assign the value to the variable on the left hand side, which means it will evaluate the right hand side expression, which is after equal. If I take a is equal to x plus y something, after equal to whatever the expression is there, it will evaluate that and produce a value and assign that value to the variable on the left hand side. It will assign that value to the variable which is their left side. A is equal to, if I take a is equal to 5 plus 2, 5 plus 2 it will evaluate and produce a value which is 7, and it will assign that value to add that a. Now a is equal to 7. Got it? This is how the assignment operation works. Let us see how the variable can update. Updating means giving a new value based on the old value, which means we have already a value to that variable name and assigning one more new value to that existing variable name only. Example, here we have taken one variable name which is n. We are updating the same variable name only. N is equal to, I have taken initially 5. This is the initial value which is 5 and I am updating that variable name which is n is equal to 3 into n plus 5. Again here n is, it will go to 5, and 3 into 5, 15 plus 1, it will give the result as 16. Here the current value of n is 5 and multiply it by 3. Here multiply it by 3, it will give 15. Add to 1, it will give 16. Assign 16 to the n. You have to assign 16 to that n. This is the present value of n. n is equal to 16. Here, using variables before assignment. Before assigning a value to that variable, how exactly it will work? Let us see. You cannot use a variable that hasn't been assigned yet. For example, w is equal to x plus 1. Here, it will show an error message that x is not defined. Here, x is not defined. To make sure that, you have to define the x. X is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give anything, any value to that x. Then only you can update that variable. Got it? It will show an error message, or else. You must initialize the variable first. Whatever the variable you have taken here, you must initialize that variable. Increment and decrement. Let us see how exactly increment and decrement works in Python. Increment, add 1 to a variable. It will add 1 to that existing variable. And decrement means subtract 1 from that variable. Let us see with that example. Runs code is equal to 0. Here the value is 0 initially. Runs code is equal to runs code plus 1. Here increment operation is happening, that's why now runs code is equal to 1. Initially it was 0, now it is 1 because plus 1, it is incrementing to 1, that's why it is 0. And shortcut using plus operator. Again we are making changes in runs code plus is equal to 1. Again we have changed this. Let us see. Same as runs code is equal to runs code plus 1. Which means it was 1 plus 1. Again it will change the output to 2. Got it? Initially it was 0. Again when I have incremented to 1, it will be 1. And again I have incremented to 1. To that existing value, it will increment 1 more. That's why the output is 2 now. Here always initialize the variable before updating. You have to initialize a variable before updating that. And updating a variable doesn't affect any other variable that was previously equal to it. In the previous example, I have explained this. When you have take a is equal to 5, b is equal to a, the b's value will be 5 only. After I have assigned a as 3, then it doesn't affect to that b. Got it? And here plus equal and minus equal are common shortcuts for incrementing and decrementing. Here plus equal, minus equal, these are all the shortcuts to increment and decrement. Let us see the for loop once again with a small example. Here a for loop goes through each item in a list one by one. Here I have a list of items. It will go through each and every items one by one. Let us see in the example. Each item is assigned to a loop variable and then loop body runs. Here it is connected to the friend. Whenever I take friend, it will go to Joe, Zo, Zuki, Thandi and Paris. Got it? It is connected to that. After that, it will come to the body of that loop again. Let us see this example, then you will be understand easily. Inviting the friends. This is example of inviting friends. For friend in Zo, Zuki, Thandi and Paris. This is the friends list. Invite is equal to hi. It will write as it is in the loop. When it comes to friend, it will go and take all 5 of them which is there in the list. Got it? Again it will come back to the loop, body of the loop and enter please come to my party. Got it? it will print hi and Zo, please come to my party. Hi, Zo, please come to my party. Hi, Zuki, please come to my party. Hi, Thandi, please come to my party. Hi, Paris, please come to my party. Got it? Whenever it will print invite, it will print all 5 of these one by one in 5 lines. Got it? This is the for loop example. First loop, it will take the friend as Zo, print invitation for Zo, and in the second loop it will print Zo, print invitation for Zo, and so on for all the friends in the list. It will print all the friends invitation in the list which is there in the list. Going through all items in the list is called traversing the list or list traversal. We are going through all the items elements in the list which is called as traversing the list or list traversal. Got it? Remember this, which is very important in DSA. And the next one is using for loop to sum numbers. Let us see. To sum all the elements in the list. Likewise, we will take some elements in the list and remember the sum so far. Step how to do that. Let us see. Start with the total which is 0. Initially it is 0 and add each number from the list to the total. You have to add each number to that total and update the total after each addition. You have to update the total after adding each number from that list. Let us see an example. This is the list of items. I have 5, 6, 32, 21 and 9. Here running total is initially 0. For numbers in numbers, running total is equal to running total plus number. It will be 5, 6, 32, 21 and 9. It will take all the numbers in that list and it will print as running total. The output will be 73. It will add all the numbers which is present in the list and give the output as 73. Running total starts at 0. It starts at 0 and add 5 to that 0. Again 6 it will be 11 and 32 it will add, it will be 43 and so on. At the end the result is 73. I think you are very clear with it. Here variable remember values from the loop iteration to the next. And for loop is perfect for traversing the list. And running total is a common use case in loops. This is the common use case in the loops. Let us see the while statement. While loop repeats a block of code as long as the condition is true. I have told you earlier, if the condition is true, it will execute that code. It will be in the loop. If the condition becomes false, it will come out of that loop. Stop the execution and come out of that loop. Here we have a syntax, general syntax for while loop, which is condition statement. If the condition is true, then it will execute. Let us see an example, which is sum of numbers. N is equal to 6. Current sum is equal to 0. So I is equal to 0. While I is less than or equal to n. This is the condition here. I is less than or equal to n. This is the condition. And current sum plus is equal to I. Here the current sum is 0. I am incrementing that to 1. Here I plus is equal to 1 because I am incrementing here. Here print current sum. It will keep on execute the loop until the statement becomes false. Until the condition becomes false. Which means it will take n is equal to 6. I is less than or equal to 6. Till that condition it will execute. After that it will come out of that loop. The result is 21 because if I add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I add 1 to 6, I will get the output as 21. Got it? While I is less than or equal to n, it will execute the body of that program and I took current num. Here I is to correct sum. I am incrementing in this step, and it will stop when the n is greater than I. Got it? Let us see the flow of execution in while statement. Evaluate the condition true or false, whether the condition is true or false. If it is false, exit the loop immediately and continue after the loop. Whatever is there after that loop, it will continue with that. And if the condition is true, execute all the statements in the body and then check the condition again. It will execute that and check the condition again. If it is true, execute, or else it will come out of that loop. Very simple. And we have important notes. If the condition is false the first time, the body never execute. For example, if the condition is false, first time only, in the first condition only, if the condition is false, it will never execute that body. The body must change something in the loop, so the condition will eventually become false. Otherwise, it becomes an infinite loop. When the condition is continuously true and keep on executing that program and executing all the statements which is present in that body loop, it will become an infinite loop. Let us see why this loop terminates. N is finite. I increases each time. Eventually, I is greater than N. So that by giving these kind of conditions, we know that the loop will stop. Here let us compare the previous example with the for loop. Here n is equal to 6, current sum is equal to 0. Previously it will be 0. For I in range n plus 1, current sum plus is equal to I. Here I am incrementing that I and print current sum. This is for loop. I am using here for I in range n plus 1. And again here I am incrementing that value of sum here. That's why it will become 1, 2, 3 and again it will add all the numbers. And it will give the sum as well. Here for loop manages the loop variable automatically. Here the for loop manages the loop variable automatically. While loop requires you to initialize, test and update the loop variable manually. You have to update, initialize the values, test everything. It has to be done manually in the while loop. And let us know why we use while loop only. Here, sometimes you don't know in advance how many times to repeat the execution. Means if you know how many times exactly you have to repeat that condition, then go with the for loop. If you don't know and you follow the while loop. In this case, you have to use the while loop. While loop gives extra flexibility and power for these situations. When you don't know how many times you have to execute that condition and loop, it will be very flexible and it will give some extra power in these situations. That's why use while loop. And the next concept is the Collatz 3n plus 1 sequence in Python. Let us see what is this, how exactly this will work. What is the Collatz sequence? It will start with any positive number n, generate the next term. Let us see. If n is even, divide by n, which is n is equal to n divided by 2. And if n is odd, multiply by 3 and add 1. N is odd, then n is equal to multiply by 3 and add 1. Repeat until n becomes 1. This will be repeated until the n becomes 1. If it is even, we have to perform this. If it is odd, we have to perform this. This is what 3n plus 1 Collatz rule. Got it? Python, let us see the example in Python for this. N is equal to, we have taken some number while n is not equal to 1. We know that the n is not equal to 1 here. That's why n is not equal to 1. Print n and comma. Here it will keep the output on the same line separated by commas. Okay, in this case. If n modulus 2 is equal to 0, n is equal to n divided by 2. Then n is even. If it is divided by 2 and getting the remainder as 0, it is even. Or else n is equal to n into 3 plus 1, which is for odd. We have to perform this. Print end is equal to /n. We will get the final value here. Here it will /n. It will print the final number with the period and new line. Let us see how the loops works in Collatz 3n plus 1 sequence. The condition is n is not equal to 1, which means n is not equal to 1. The loop continues until n is 1. Here the loop will continue until the n becomes 1. Each iteration, print the current n, check if it is even or odd, update the n accordingly. First step is to print the current n. What is the value to that n previously? And check if the n is even or odd. Then you have to update the n accordingly. Loop may increase or decrease the n. Here this loop, it may increase or decrease the n. It will change the value of that n. Termination and conjecture. For some numbers, termination is very easy to prove. For example, power of 2. It will terminate after finding that. In general, it's not obvious whether every positive number eventually reaches 1. Here we are not sure we will reach 1 at the end. And this unsolved problem is called as Collatz conjecture. Here, when we are not able to solve this to 1, this is called as Collatz conjecture. That is 3n plus 1 conjecture. Here conjecture means all positive integers eventually reach 1 using Collatz rule. This is Collatz rule. No one has proven or disproven it yet. Collatz rule is no one has proved it or disproven it. If you don't stop at 1, the sequence loops endlessly, like 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. Like this it will be continue. The next concept is choosing between for and while loop. When to use for loop? Let us see. Useful when you know how many times the loop should run. I have told you this before only. When you know how many times exactly that you want to run the loop, then you have to use for loop. Traversal list of elements. For example, these. When you want to do these kind of problems or programs, you have to use the for loop. Print the number 12. Print the 12 times table. Iterate a weather model for 1000 cycles. Find all prime numbers up to 10,000. In these kind of examples or programs, you have to use for loop. When to use while loop? Let us see. Indefinite iteration, which means when you don't know in advance how many times iterations are needed, you have to execute that loop. For example, Collatz 3n plus 1 sequence. You don't know. We don't know how many times exactly the steps will take, and you have to execute that loop. It is called as indefinite iteration. And no definite upper bound for iterations. Here we don't have any definite upper bounds to that iterations. Here for loop, when we define the iteration, it is fixed known number of repetitions. The repetitions we know in before. In while loop, it is indefinite iteration. Repeat until the condition is met. If it is false, it will stop the execution immediately. And the next concept is generating tables using loops in Python. How we generate the tables using loops. Why tables are useful? Let us see that. Before computers, people calculate mathematical functions by hand. Before computer, people has to calculate mathematical operations by their hand only. Got it? Like logarithms, sines, cosines, everything. They have to calculate it manually before computer. Books had long tables of values, but they were slow to create and often full of errors. Here books were there, but it is long tables of values and they are very slow to create, and it will take lot of time as well as there will be lot of errors in that. And computers can now generate tables automatically. Now everything is advanced. The computers can easily generate the tables easily, faster and more accurate. Means the errors are also very less compared to before. Let us see the example. Powers of 2 table. It will give the output like this. Let us see this example program. Python program to generate a table of numbers and their powers of 2. Let us see. For x in range 13. Here we have used it for loop. For x in range 13, it will go from 0 to 12. Print x slash t to exponent x. X means it will keep on changing. For loop, it will execute all the statements from 0 to 12. Sy 2 exponent x. The x value will be keep on changing. By changing that value, here we will get the output as 1, 2, 4, 8 like this. Got it? This is how we can generate the tables using loops in Python. And the next concept is generating tables in that. Here I have explained this program. Range 13, it will generate the numbers from 0 to 12. This range 13, it will generate the numbers from 0 to 12. And 2 exponent x means calculate the 2 to the power of x. Means 2 power x. And slash t is to tab character. It aligns the columns neatly. It will align the columns neatly. And backslash indicates a escape sequence. T is the tab and slash n is a for new line. Got it? This is the explanation of that code. How tabs works, let us see. A cursor keeps track of where the next character will go. The cursor will be keep tracking the where the next character will go, and print usually moves the cursor to the next line. Automatically the cursor will move to the next line by print. Slash t moves to the cursor to the next tab stop, making the columns line up regardless of digits in the first column. Here slash t, which means tab, moves the cursor to the next tab stop, and it will make all column line up regardless of digits in the first column. Here the loops are perfect for generating the tables. Tabs, it is for tabs, and new lines, it is for new lines. Slash n to write the new lines, slash t to take the tabs. Helps to format the output neatly. These two will help to format the output neatly in the table format. And computers replaced handmade tables but still use tables internally for faster approximations. Here the computers replaced the handmade tables, but still we use some tables internally for faster approximations. Let us see how exactly the 2D tables works in Python. That is two-dimensional tables in Python. What is two-dimensional table? A two-dimensional table has row and column. Here we have rows as well as columns. Got it? You read a value at the intersection of a row and a column. You have to read the value of that intersection of column and row. You have to read that. Got it? For example, multiplication table. Let us see. This is the multiplication table is how exactly it will work with the two-dimensional table. Printing the multiples of 2. Start with the loop that prints the multiple of 2 from 1 to 6. Let us see. For I in range 1 to 7. Okay. We have taken for loop here. In range 1 to 7. Print 2 into I end. Print. Let us see. Here range 1 to 7. Take the values from 1 to 6. Print 2 into 1, calculate the even numbers. The I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that till 6 it will be. It will calculate the even numbers. This will print the numbers in the same line separated by a space. Got it? Here the print will be moving to the new line after the loop ends. Got it? It will print the output as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 by giving the space which is separated by space. Got it? We are using for loop here. Here 1 to 7 generates the number from 1 to 6 and I takes the value of each range 1 by 1 and 2 into I it calculates the multiple of 2 and then it keeps the output on the same line separated by a space by keeping a space here. The final print it is a moves the cursor to the new line after the loop. After the loop ends it will move to the next line. Here the output is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 9, 12 separated by a space here. You can observe. Got it? And loops can be used to generate the rows of a table. Here I have told you. And it here we have a space in print is useful for printing on the same line. It is useful to print on the same line by separating it a space. After finishing one row, use print to start a new line. The row is finished means you have to use the print to start a new line. Generalized full multiplication table, which is in the form of rows and columns. The module 1 part 3 ends here. Let us see the topics covered. Assignment, updating the variables, for loop, while loop, the Collatz 3n plus 1 sequence, tables and 2D tables. We have seen all the topics here, covered all these topics in this part 3. If you found this video helpful, then subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. In part 4, I will be explaining you break statement, continue, paired data, nested loops for nested data, and functions. These are all the part 4 topics. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the part 4 video.